In this video, we'll learn how to use the index law for division, show why it exists, and give you examples to practice that combine it with the other index laws. Links to our videos on the other laws are in the description or top right corner now. As a bonus, we'll show you what it means when a number is raised to a power of 0 and use the division law to prove it. Okay, so here it goes. The division law is x to the power of a divided by x to the power of b is equal to x to the power of a minus b. So we simply subtract the powers when dividing. You can think of this as the opposite of the multiplication law, where we add the powers when multiplying. So here is an example. Simplify x to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 3. And it's nice and easy. We just subtract the powers. So x to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 3 is x squared, or x to the power of 2. And that's because 5 minus 3 equals 2. All well and good, but why is this? So we can see by writing our expression as a fraction and cancelling terms on the numerator and denominator. So x to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 3 is equal to x to the power of 5 over x to the power of 3. Now the numerator of x to the power of 5 is just 5x's all multiplied together, and the denominator of x to the 3 is just 3x's multiplied together. And because there are common factors of x on both parts of the fraction, we can simplify by cancelling. So cancel 3x's from the top with the 3 from the bottom to be left with just 2 on the top, which is just x squared. And that's it. It's worth pointing out that in your exam you don't need to write each answer as a fraction like this to get the marks. Just use the law up here and subtract the powers. And now it's your turn. Here are some examples to practice. So simplify each of these. Use the index law for division shown here on the right hand side. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so here are the answers. We just subtract the powers. So for part A, 4 to the power of 5 divided by 4 to the power of 3 is just 4 squared, because 5 minus 3 is 2. Part B, 2 to the power of 10 over 2 to the power of 7 is equal to 2 to the power of 3, because 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. Okay, so for part C, the answer is y to the power of 7, because 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. And finally, for part D, x to the power of 8 over x is the same as x to the power of 8 divided by x to the power of 1, because an x on its own is the same as x to the power of 1. And this comes to x to the power of 7, because 8 minus 1 is equal to 7. Right, let's step it up by combining the division law with the index laws for multiplication and powers of powers. Simplify each of these expressions. As a hint, simplify the numerator first. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so here are the answers. For part A, first use the multiplication law to simplify the numerator. So x to the power of 7 times x to the power of 4 is x to the power of 11, because 7 plus 4 is 11. Then we use the division law to do x to the power of 11 divided by x to the power of 3 is x to the power of 8, because 11 minus 3 is equal to 8. Right, so for part B, we need to simplify both parts of the fraction. So y squared times y to the 7 is equal to y to the 9 on the numerator. And for the denominator, we have 5 plus 3 equals 8, so it's y to the power of 8. Finally, use the division law to simplify, so 9 take away 8 is equal to 1, so we have y to the power of 1, or just y on its own. Alright, part C is slightly different. Here we need to use the powers of powers law first. X to the power of 3 to the power of 5 is equal to x to the power of 15, because we multiply when there are powers of powers, and 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Now, x to the power of 15 over x to the power of 4 is equal to x to the power of 11, simply using the division law, because 15 minus 4 is equal to 11. And that's it. Let's now see the bonus part of the video where there is a power of 0. And the key idea is that any number raised to the power of 0 is always going to be 1. So let's see an example. For example, 4 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Okay, sure, but why? So let's see. We're going to be using the division law and the fact that 1 take away 1 is equal to 0. So 4 to the power of 0 is equal to 4 to the power of 1 minus 1. And using the division law backwards, we have 4 to the power of 1 minus 1 is equal to 4 to the power of 1 divided by 4 to the power of 1, which is just 4 divided by 4. And that comes to just 1. That's it. The answer is 1. 4 to the power of 0, or any other number to the power of 0, is just going to be 1.